Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the IJK Podcast. My guest today is Veena Gandhi. Veena is a growth-driven marketer at Digital Street. She has over 15 years of advertising experience and has led million-dollar campaigns for companies like Leo Burnett, McCann and FCB. She has also worked with hip brands like Coca-Cola, LG Electronics, Hewlett Packard and IPL, just to name a few. As a data-driven marketer, digital consultant and performance media specialist, Veena works closely with businesses and advertising agencies by providing digital strategies, CRO solutions, full funnel builds, and digital advertising services. Today, we are going to learn from Veena about the latest digital marketing trends for 2024 and beyond. Veena, welcome to the IJK Podcast.
Matt, thank you so very much for having me. And I didn't realize, that was quite a mouthful of an introduction.
Thank you for joining us. Veena, what major shifts do you anticipate in the digital marketing landscape in 2024 and beyond?
So a lot of changes are happening, as we know, in the digital space. I feel that every single day there is a change. You play at a blink of an eyelid, you read something and you're like, oh my goodness, suddenly AI came into 2020, end of 2022, 2023 beginning, and everything kind of turned topsy-turvy, especially post-COVID. I think there have been so many changes with platforms like TikTok coming in and getting much more visibility. So the digital landscape is constantly evolving, changing, and that's why I think it's very important to be able to figure out what's working. And it's so cluttered as well. If you really look at it, it's got so much happening. And that's a biggest grievance most of my brands have is, how do we cope with it? Because, you can't be posting 10 reels in a day or 4 TikTok videos in a day. So how do you really keep up with things? How do you really manage? How do you really, be at it, yet not get burnt out? I think that's a bigger issue with brands right now.
Absolutely. Today, AI-powered chatbots like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, which was just released, are not just a trend anymore. They have become game changers in a way. So how do you see this altering the way businesses communicate with their customers, whether for marketing or CRM purposes?
So, Imad, I think there are two ways to look at it. It's here, right? And it's here to stay. So businesses need to adapt to it. And a lot of businesses have started adapting, but at the same time, there are a lot of businesses that haven't started adapting. And it's the same thing. So it's not that, AI is going to take over our jobs completely or businesses will be out of. So the biggest challenge is how to adapt to AI, to imbibe it into your own business, to make your life easier, to be on top of things and to get to do more. So something like ChatGPT we use in my agency, and you are as good as your prompt to ChatGPT. Will it replace copywriters? The bad copywriters or the not so great copywriters will be eventually. They would have been even if there was no ChatGPT. But copywriters who know what they're doing, who know how to give the right prompts, because you are as good as your prompt to ChatGPT or any other AI platform for that matter, whether it's Journey or Mid-Journey or whatever. So it depends on how quickly you can adapt and and ingrain it into your business and make your life simpler.
I see.
Think of it as a calculator, right? Rather than doing mental maths all the time or just not trying to do figures, or it's like an Excel sheet. So there is a tool that is helping you speed up things and more efficiently.
Okay, I understand. Do you think the job of a typical copywriter will be changed because of those AI tools? And do they need to upskill to remain competitive in the current market?
Yes, absolutely. And it's just not copywriters, it's designers, it's media buyers, everyone in the industry needs to upskill and think of how to use AI to be better at what they are already doing. So, for us, AI can be used for research, and a copywriter can if you put in, we use AI, we have copywriters as well as ChatGPT that we like to use in the agency, but how we are using it is completely different. You cannot rely on ChatGPT for all your ad writing or sales page writing. You need that human touch. You need someone's personal experiences. And I think that is where AI can never take over humans, because your personal experiences can never be matched by a machine. It's a machine learning by the end of the day. And copywriting is all about emotions. It's all about connecting with people. And
Yes.
AI has, I think, a long way to go there. Maybe I'm wrong, but I personally think AI really has a long way to connect with humans, connect with human feelings and emotions.
Absolutely. What do you think about this new trend of conversational marketing? People are talking about it, basically leveraging chatbots, having them on a website, and then having those chatbots generate leads automatically, or even provide CRM solutions or answer questions and customers' concern on the spot straight away. Do you think this is a sector that is gaining popularity and that's going to be increasingly important in the years going forward?
Yes, and it's like, your human customer service person has been replaced by a bot or by automation. And it's great, because I might not be there at 2 a.m. to answer a client's query or a customer's, sorry, I have a bad throat, or a customer's query. But if my bot has been trained properly, they can, answer it at 2 a.m. for someone. And I can be in any part of the world answering it, or getting an answer too. So in terms of efficiency, yes, like a lot of banks have started using, chatbots, and they have trained their bots to answer queries for them. And it is more efficient, convenient for everyone around. It's like, if you see, it's a progression, right? If you see earlier,
Yes.
we had call centers where it would be there for 12 hours. Then they started giving you 24 hours. And you could actually chat with a human on the phone. Maybe you have your credit card is stolen. You just needed someone to chat there and then, and you would just do it. Similarly, it's the next progression is the app the customer service on chatbots answer your queries, and you're not bound by time. It's efficient for the company. It's efficient for you as a customer. So they are here to stay, and companies that adapt will see a greater success in the long run.
Okay. Now, let's talk a little bit about social media and the latest trends there. So nowadays, social media is completely saturated with posts, with content. How can brands in 2024 and beyond stand out on social media and still engage their audience effectively?
Very, very good question, and very much required as well. So, there are studies, people like, I think in Australia or in the US, at an average, adults are between 6 to 8 hours in a day on social media. That means people are consuming content, and two things they need to do is be unique, because no one can replace you. Entertain. No one comes to social media to, buy. You come either to be entertained, motivated, or learn something, right? Maybe the how-tos are so popular on YouTube even now, though YouTube is not a social media, it's, but even how to, style yourself. So Instagram, people would do Instagram that a lot, or TikTok will be there. So something that really happens is when you are really trying to entertain, educate your customer, you're not trying to sell them anything. So that's something you need to be mindful of. And relatable content. And that's where I think AI will only be like supplementing and complementing what you do, and not take over everything completely. Because as an individual, you would know your audiences better, you would know your brand better, what you're selling better, and then inspire, motivate, educate, and entertain. I think that's the key. That's what people come to social media for. It's like, ages ago, we used to watch movies to be entertained, and it's now we want to be entertained very quickly and in a 15-second or a 20-second video. That's it. And that's I think that's what brands need to embrace, and that's what they're lacking.
Absolutely. Now, attention spans are very short these days. And as you said, it's a challenge to mix education with entertainment, with authenticity, and then deliver that in a very short form content. And talking about short form content, actually, and video, like video marketing or video in general, do you think that the future of video marketing is based purely on short form content going forward? Because we're seeing like increasingly this trend happening with TikTok and even lately with YouTube, the YouTube Shorts. So do you believe this is the way forward?
So from a social media point of view, yes, because, we like to consume shorter bites. But if you look at your streaming channels, you have your Netflix, you have your Prime, and there people they're glued to watching hours of content.
Yeah.
So it depends from platform to platform. And most importantly, no one will consume boring content, whether it's short form, long form, mid form, whatever form.
Okay.
So I think the number one thing is entertainment, and the definition of entertainment can vary for people. And, a brand has to just like find out what really entertains their audience. And I'm not saying like, just typically like the TikTok videos dancing all the time. No.
Yeah, you mean more like engagement. And education. Yes, yeah. Engagement. Okay.
So, but from a social media point of view, So the thing is, I like to consume content quickly, faster, and more, right? So that's also the thing. So it's no longer about less is more as far as social media is concerned in terms of consumption. In terms of consumption, because if people are spending 6 hours at an average or in a day on social media, that means you are consuming a lot more content than you would typically even 2 years back or 3 years back.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that, stories, are still stories relevant these days, or they've been replaced more by reels and, like other forms of content whether on TikTok or on Instagram or other similar platforms?
Stories are very, very much relevant. And something which I am seeing a lot with stories is, people would create their personal private friend contact lists, and they would just share it with them. And the biggest thing about stories is it's gone in 24 hours. It's not there to stay forever. So stories, I think with younger people, like, okay, I had my coffee in the morning, or I went for my Pilates, and then I went for a friend's birthday. So those kind of stories, and I tried this new restaurant. So anything which is my day-to-day gets covered. Anything that is a milestone covers in a post or a reel. Or holidays are so popular on reels. Like, I went to XYZ place for a holiday, and this is how I have kind of done it. So that's from a personal point of view, but how can a brand adapt to it? So, so for a brand, if you are, for example, a tourism brand, reels will work beautifully because you can showcase, and that's why then your user-generated content comes where your content creator is showing maybe some beautiful holiday they've had in by the beach side. Or then a brand like a swimwear brand can sign up on that content creator or a similar content creator and create content that, I went for my beach holiday and I took 4 of my favorite swimsuits from XYZ brand. And this is how I was, this is what happened during my holiday, and these are my favorites. So there are different ways to adapt reels into your content. On the contrary, for a story, it's just that, when I've done my reel as a brand, I would say post a story and say, this was my look, and then people just like getting more visibility and run paid traffic to it. So there are different ways of how you would communicate your creative as well to your audience and reach out. So having said that, stories is not dead. And also think of from the audience point of view. Maybe especially when to most people, especially women who are moms or who are working women, they like to consume their content after 9:30 in the night when the kids are sleeping and when they get that me time. So so they are on their phones, they're scrolling through their phones, and they're just like catching up on stories. and it's easier to consume. So you're quickly swiping, and it's just like going, right? And then, of course, your reels are there. And that's why another very important thing is, from a consumption point of view, is to have captions on your reels for brands, on your videos, because I might not be listening to it, but I can read the captions. So
yeah, because audio is not turned on by default, so that's where a caption is handy.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. By the way, Snapchat was the platform that pioneered stories. Is Snapchat still relevant in 2024? Because we're not hearing anymore that much about it, but rather we hear more about TikTok and Instagram, but not so much Snapchat. Is it still a popular channel?
I would say it is coming back into popularity because of the filters. And I think Snapchat, and that's my thing about Snapchat, and maybe it's just my point of view.
Yes.
Snapchat has never marketed itself the way Instagram and TikTok has. So there is, even social media platforms have to market themselves. Like Threads was such a craze when it was launched, the Instagram Threads. And now it's even taking you a second to recollect what is Threads. So it was started off very well, and then it kind of fizzled out. Yes, people might be posting on Threads. I hardly log on to my Threads account. But when it was launched, and, it was like it got millions of subscribers overnight, and, it was the latest rage. But did Facebook really invest that as much effort and time and money into promoting Threads after the launch? Question mark.
Not so much. Yes, I personally don't use it as well. When I heard about it, I just created an account or logged in, but then I've never really used it, and I ended up disabling the feature on my Instagram.
Exactly.
So
a lot of people have done that. So coming back to your question about Snapchat, I think Snapchat, TikTok and Instagram, they will keep getting you features after features and, being relevant and video content. Snapchat's major thing was always 24-hour story. Like, it would feed for 24 hours, and the filters. So Instagram, I always say Facebook because for me, Instagram and Facebook is the same, but it's like not same.
Yes.
Same. So Instagram and TikTok replicated that so very well. They got better filters. They did everything else better. So very interestingly, sometimes what also happens is, Imad, and, Facebook was a generation when Gen Z's parents were on it. Right? The parents were on. So they wanted to move to another platform. They started moving to Instagram and TikTok because they didn't want mom to see what they were posting, right? Or aunt posting on. So they need to move to Instagram where they could have some privacy because everyone can't see your account. And you can still, so mom can follow you, but you can exclude her from your private list of contacts.
Yeah.
And I think the more the Facebook generation starts moving to Instagram.
Yes, now parents and even grandparents are already on Instagram.
Yeah, so then the next move will happen is people trying to look for another platform, Gen Z, and then maybe perhaps they go to Snapchat and they say, all right. And it can happen, like it's happening. I can see that move happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not TikTok, because I see most very young people are on TikTok, actually.
Actually, I think TikTok is something from 4 to 80. I see everyone on TikTok. So
everyone's on TikTok already. I created a TikTok account when it came out a few years back, but I've never really used it. So I ended up closing it. I'm contented with Instagram and Facebook. Call me old-fashioned, but, I feel like I don't have to be present on all the social networks.
Absolutely. And, it's also about social media fatigue. How many platforms can you as an individual be? So a lot of people, what they do is they try and repurpose content from Instagram to TikTok, which is fine, or TikTok to Instagram. And because Reels and TikTok is like, but obviously from a brand point of view, we always tell them to do a certain, because each platform has its own nuances. But as an user, you don't have the time, the energy, and the effort to go to 4 different platforms. And then comes Shorts, where again people are posting things. So, it's overconsumption, and which kind of, I call it social media fatigue. And you're like, I've had enough. I can't be seen everywhere. I can't be posting everywhere. And sometimes you'll see similar content on YouTube Shorts, Reels, and TikTok. So you're like, let me choose one and stick to one rather than being everywhere. But from a brand point of view, what is really happening, a major shift we are seeing is brands trying to move to TikTok as well, which is fantastic as well. And if you look at even luxury brands like Dior, like, they are also, or Louis Vuitton for that matter, they're all trying to have a TikTok presence. And you think of it like your generational customers, because maybe right now people who buy from me in their 40s or their 50s or 30s might be on Instagram and Facebook, but I'm getting future ready for my customers who might be like 16, 18 or in their early 20s, and getting them ready to resonate with my brand as well and to being relevant for them, because it's about reaching to newer customers across generations, which I think bigger brands think much more than smaller brands.
Yes, for sure. What do you think about AR and VR, and how do you foresee these technologies impacting social media or digital marketing in general?
Yes, so augmented reality has already started doing it. And if you, if you go to, say, Bulgari's website, or a lot of sunglasses company do that, you can try on your sunglasses.
Okay.
Right? So before buying,
you upload your picture and it will automatically...
You don't even need to upload your picture. You just need to switch on your camera on your phone. Yeah,
nice.
You just need to give them access to your camera, and it's a live thing, and you can try different shades.
It's like a filter on Instagram. It's similar to a filter feature.
Yes, and but
not the filter. Sorry, is it called filter or it's called?
It's a more real thing. It's a real.
Yes.
I'm on the website. I'm on the brand's website, and I am choosing sunglasses. And then I switch on my camera, and I can try on live. So it's me trying on live, giving them access to my camera and trying.
Okay.
Similarly with lipstick shades. So you can try it on, and that one makes the online experience so much better. It's actually counter-attacking when people say, I can't try my shades before buying them. I can't try my sunglasses before trying them. How do you expect me to buy them online? So it's a beautiful thing to just try it on, and then you decide.
That's impressive.
Yes, and it's happening already.
And do they do it as well with other types of product, like clothing and other items?
So what is happening with clothing is, obviously people are posting videos, and that's where AI is coming in. So, I might not be able to try it online, but on a similar body size, someone else can try it.
I see. That's very interesting. And what about those virtual headsets, like the
gaming VR?
Basically, the ones developed by Meta. And we know that Meta owns Facebook, Instagram, and the Metaverse as well. They're developing the Metaverse, and they own those hardware. Do you think in the near future there will be a synergy or a combination of all these different technologies, social media and VR, and in a way that will transform a little bit social media the way we know it today?
So that's a great question. So Imad, it's an evolving thing, right? And it's, as I told you, it's about how can you innovate better? So we had Orkut once upon a time, then came Facebook that changed the game for everyone. I don't know if you're aware of Orkut. There was a platform called MySpace.
Orkut, I know, from Google, right? Google bought it.
From Google.
Orkut
was Google, I think so, yeah.
Yes, they bought it for some time. And they eventually died, and they didn't succeed.
Yes. And so we had Facebook after that, and then we had Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. And now what next? How do we keep our customers riveted? How do we keep them engaged? So for them, for tech companies, I think that's it, and that's why your question was like, is Snapchat still relevant? So if social media needs to be relevant, they are also looking at other technologies. So VR gaming sets have been there for a while. Were they as popular? The Occult series or whatever they are called, are they as popular? Maybe not, but are they getting popularity? Yes. And are they improving upon technology? obviously. And will they tie it all together? Perhaps, yes. And that's the way it should be as well, right? Because maybe, I am gaming with 10 of my friends and we all posted on social media together. I don't know. But yes, it's, or we, have a social media, what's that, war on gaming or something. What are gaming wars are called? I don't know what they're called. So, things like that. So obviously they need to innovate. They need to see what's going to happen next. What's the next trend? So yeah, it should.
But looking at how much Mark Zuckerberg is investing in the metaverse, it looks like, we are probably on the brink of another revolution in social media. And, using hardware, like new hardware as well, that would be definitely an interesting space to watch. And as you said, we cannot really predict what's going to happen, but I guess as well, innovation is going to be like the main driver here, and maybe the intersection of new emergent technologies such as AR and the metaverse, and the size of those social networks might for sure unlock a disruption in the industry in the near future, but we don't really know, right? So there's nothing yet now tangible, or there's no like tangible sign that something's happening yet, right?
So I'm not very up to date with Metaverse. I know that Mark Zuckerberg is investing a lot, and even I think Microsoft was investing quite a bit in. Google was also investing quite a lot in Metaverse. But what are the latest trends in Metaverse is something I'm not really aware about. Is it going to be a game changer? I think as they keep launching, as they keep testing, we'll come to know. Because it's not that both Google and Facebook hasn't had failed products. They've also had failed products. So yes.
For sure.
Yeah. And is it too soon for our time? No. I think it's the next level of evolution, because we've like got so much happening on social media already, and as you said, you feel burnt out by so many channels. So it's what is next? What is the next technology or innovation that's going to change our lives? All we can do is wait and watch.
Yes, I agree. Let's talk a little bit about another topic within digital marketing. Veena, what are the latest trends in PPC and paid search? This is like, a whole universe by itself, but I believe you and your agency are specialized in this as well.
Yes.
And maybe you can walk us through the latest trends and tendencies in that field.
Sure. So something which rather than just talking about Google paid search, I really want to talk about something called TikTok search, which is not paid search.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
Which is not paid search, but which is like organic search. So last year, I think end of last year, TikTok introduced search. And now you get, which is, I think, will be a big competition for Google, because I have a 16-year-old son, and I know, and I asked him this thing. He says, no, if I have to do something, I just search on TikTok. So whether it's, so, in that sense, those search trends on TikTok are very popular, especially if it's looking for a restaurant, or, even skincare.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So TikTok is behaving increasingly like a search engine these days?
Yes. And so whether you're looking for, even like he told me, so sometimes for his skincare, he just like does a TikTok search. So that channel is, And so my thing is, fine, PPC, Google is there. Will TikTok introduce like a paid search thing? Is more of, because they are already into paid media, will they do like a Google paid search kind of a thing as well? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. And something which is like, of course, they've got TikTok Shop in the US. They're very soon launching, I think, mid this year in Australia as well. So so that's actually one platform to watch out for. Now coming to people.
That's interesting. Yeah.
A lot of stuff is happening in the world of TikTok for sure. Now coming to PPC search trends. So Imad, what is happening is Google Shopping, etc. will, especially because we work a lot with e-commerce brands. And we are seeing a lot of brands investing a lot more in Google Shopping. And which is
shopping ads
ads, yes.
So
everyone keeps asking me this question as well, that should we be doing SEO at all or not? And my question to them is, yes, that's important, but if you really look at the way Google has kind of changed its search layout in the last couple of years, is you have your standard shopping on top, followed by paid ads, and then no one goes to page 2. I don't know how many times you would have gone to page 2. Page 3 is dead. You're like, it doesn't even exist in anyone's search. So one biggest trend in, I think, paid search will be, of course, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties that, broad keywords are working and XYZ keywords, are not.
Yeah.
So all I'll say is you have to have a Google presence, but try and personalize your ad copy or try and make it relevant to your readers, because so many times, and this is so ignored by brands across the board, it's my biggest issue as well. Everyone puts generic ad copy thinking you've got only 30 characters or 90 characters and things. No one tries to make it promising, or no one tries to make it relevant to the end customer. Brands focus on getting number 1 ranking through their paid search terms, which are going to get more and more expensive. Cost per click is going to increase. We are going to have US elections, plus CPMs are increasing. We are going to see advertising becoming more and more expensive. How do you remain relevant and not burn through your ad dollars is something brands need to think about. And one big is starting producing relevant ad copy and just not generic ad copy. Another thing they need to really focus on is the post-click, because an ad's job is to get you a click to your website or your landing page. An ad's job is not to sell to your customer. That's the customer journey. So, and I think that is, it's not a trend, it's an insight which has been there for years, but ignored by brands for years. I mean, they think Google ads or Facebook ads or TikTok ads will change the trajectory of their business. It will if you do the other things correctly as well.
For sure. Now, talking about Google ads, in general, like in the past, agencies and PPC specialists used to spend a lot of time optimizing those campaigns, selecting keywords, and basically testing and refining. Nowadays, we see that those ad campaigns are AI powered and they have optimization scores, and basically it looks like machine learning is embedded into them. Do you think that now this increasing reliance on Google to do its job and then get you the leads that they can get you through with your ad budget, do you think that this is actually delivering better ROIs and better results for advertisers versus before, like the manual work that was done by the actual specialists?
So again, a great question, Iman, I must say. And I'm so glad you asked me this question, because few things, we don't need to optimize ad accounts as much as we had to do a year back with Performance Max coming in, with other, even for as far as, there was a time when we used to do what we call single keyword ad groups or single keyword ad campaigns. That is no longer relevant, where we were spending so much time manually in an ad account. Having said that, can we rely 100% on AI? No, we can't. Because if you ever look at the Google recommendations, which it gives you next to your campaign, 50% of them are just ask you to increase the ad budget. Do I want to increase my ad budget without being profitable? Hell no. So, can we rely on machine learning? No, we can't. However, how do you as a media buyer, as an agency, adapt to that machine learning and use it to your advantage? It has simplified a lot of things, but cost of advertising has gone up. And that's why I said your relevance, your ad relevance, your landing page relevance is even more important. Setting up your conversion tracking, because they're going into a cookieless world, say, I think from July this year, which is going to be
that's our next topic.
Which is going to be a bigger challenge as well. So Performance Max, no matter what the other gurus say about it, if you have a small budget, whether you're spending $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 a month, I would say launch Performance Max. You will make your money and don't touch it for 21 days, but set it up correctly. So even now with machine learning, with Google trying to take over, it would create videos for you. It would tell you, crop it like this. If you follow the assets, feed the right assets, and which goes for Facebook's Advantage Plus campaigns as well, because Facebook has also launched Advantage Plus campaigns, and and it's so warped in a sense that we see so many brands, and with Advantage Plus campaigns, you know Facebook will look for your audiences on its own and it both men and women. And for a lot of my female-led, women-led brands, we don't want to target men, but it would target them as well. And I end up wasting ad dollars because Facebook is focusing there. It's telling you, it's pushing you, it's taking away your interest targeting.
It's spending your money.
Spending your money. And then it will be like, and that's why your creative strategy comes there, it's very crucial because your creative, as we keep telling everyone, is the new target. Your creative is the soul of your campaigns now. I give this analogy to my clients. I said, remember the billboard days when a brand would put a billboard, they were just looking at a heavy traffic site where they would get eyeballs for the billboard. And they didn't care whether men saw it or women saw it or who saw it, as long as people saw the billboard there and registered it.
Yes.
Similarly, that's what Facebook is doing. Of course, the targeting is like the next level, and we have all these glitches where the targeting goes off. And when you keep feeding it money, it'll show it to the right target audience eventually and with the right creative. So I say, master your creative, that's the soul of your campaigns, and put it there, out there. Facebook will look for right audiences because they have so much data, and their machine learning is very, very smart. In the last 10, 12 years, it's become like every year it's becoming smarter. And just think of it as a replacement for a good billboard site, but with Facebook's advanced targeting capabilities.
I understand. But what I understand from what you said is that it's very important to still stay hands-on on the optimization of the campaign and not completely rely on the AI of those tools, whether Google or Facebook.
Absolutely. You can't shut your eyes, It's like...
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give another example. It's like, putting your food in the oven. You will put a timer, but you will check between that it's not burnt. Similarly,
got it.
You will set up your ad campaigns, and you will make sure that you're not burning your clients' dollars. And that's why, and that's why it's just not about setting up a campaign. There is more to it. There is the pre-work, there is the work during the campaign, and there is post-work.
For sure.
So everything where what your creative strategy is, who your audiences are, what are their pain points. So starting from there, and that's why I think a big media buying, a big thing for agencies will be how well are they in terms of strategy, in offer creation, in post-click experience. So I think those are things, and of course creative, like how good are you as an agency that you can elevate a campaign and get the results.
Cool. Just a question, a little bit technical. Do you think lookalike and custom audiences work? Have you ever made it work or seen it work, or they don't actually work?
Oh, they do.
They do? Okay.
It's from brand to brand. And so now another thing is, and we work with the US market, UK market, obviously Australia and New Zealand, where I'm based out of Australia. So we work with different markets. Okay. And Facebook will tell you, just go broad, because we have a meta rep for our agency, and they will always tell us, just go broad. And we saw this trend, if you go broad, there is a definition of going broad as well, because you can either do it demographically filter and then let Facebook, and it depends on your pixel health, on your, the past data the account has. On the contrary, for account based in Australia and New Zealand, even now for some of our US accounts since last month, February, in lookalike stacking audiences is working again.
Okay.
So broad audiences just doesn't mean open targeting, which is it can also mean that Facebook needs millions of people to target, and then the machine learning will look for the right audiences. And that's where I think the confusion is happening in the industry today, where people are just thinking broad means 18 to 65, let me just do it. Fine, that's fine. But don't stop testing your lookalikes and all. Obviously, I've heard after 18th of March, interest targeting might just completely go out, or they'll even cut it down more. We don't know. As of today, and things change so rapidly, as of today, lookalike audiences is working for some of our ad accounts. We're scaling with it. So
okay, perfect.
Yeah. So
cool.
So one size doesn't fit all.
Sorry?
One size doesn't fit all. So it depends.
Yes. You're right. It's the era of personalization and hyper-personalization and hyper-customization. Like, no two customers are the same, and no two campaigns are the same. It depends on the brief, it depends on the targeting options, and as you said, it might work for some, but not for others. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about our, like the cookieless world that we are entering into. So third-party cookies are going away. What's next for advertisers and for advertising platforms like Google, Instagram, and also retargeting platforms? Google has remarketing, Facebook has retargeting or remarketing. So how are we going to do retargeting if we don't have anymore the third-party cookies? Are there like alternatives? Do you have any idea of how it's going to be done?
So something I've been harping on for ages is build your email list.
Email list, okay.
Because, you can, you don't owe even your email list. Like, you don't owe any platform, right? But you own your email list to a certain extent that you can send them your offers, your retargeting campaigns too, because that's a list that is your, that's your
previous customers.
Yeah, that's a previous customers and also new customers. You need to, even for new customers. So when I say build an email list, what I mean by that is, even for e-commerce brands, you have to have people coming into your email list to nurture them and to make sure that eventually you can target them and keep on retargeting those customers, right? So that's something which brand should focus on it's not an alternate, it's a necessity. It should have been like, it's like what they say, if you didn't plant a tree 10 years back, now. So it's like that kind of a thing. That's one. Secondly, of course, server-side tracking will be there. Retargeting will get... Yeah.
It will be done differently.
It will be done differently. So in my agency, we are offering that as well. We do offer how to do server-side, like we do it for brands when they're migrating to a cookieless world. And so there will be an alternative, but will it be as good as cookies tracking?
We don't know.
We don't know. That's a question mark. And see, Facebook, we've seen it with Facebook, right? When iOS 14 thing happened and a lot of people opted out of tracking, we still managed to get Facebook evolved to the next level. Facebook started, it made Facebook improve its conversion tracking. It's machine learning. It took time, but Facebook kind of countered it, and the engineers are very smart. I think even in Google, they would certainly come up with something else to help us out with that. But yes, retargeting will get tougher because Yahoo, Google, they also launched some new email rules this year, February, where if you don't fulfill certain requirements, people can, they'll just filter all your emails to spam. So, so which happened in February this year. And I think, but there is, as marketers, it helps us innovate. It helps us to think out of the box, and then we come up with solutions. So it keeps us on our toes, I would say.
Yes, I can imagine. Can we talk a little bit about influencer marketing? Influencer marketing exploded a few years back, and now we have macro influencers, nano influencers, micro influencers, all those fancy terms. How is influencer marketing evolving in 2024, and what's next?
Okay, so I would say influencer marketing is here to stay, but it's not, you don't need a Kylie Jenner to endorse your product. You don't need someone. So smaller influencers with a much more engaged audiences is where you should go to. So, someone who might even have 20,000 followers, 30,000 followers, that's all right. That's like really, really going nano. But their audience should be engaged. And that is how your brand will build credibility. That is how your brand will get... So a strategy, and I'm sharing this very freely here. So we do this for a lot of new launches. We get hundreds of small influencers at the same time launching a new product. And imagine the compounding effect. So even if they have 30,000 followers, 40,000, but they are into 100, and they post about your product, at the same time, imagine the reach you will get without spending on a Kylie Jenner. And all brands can't even afford a Kylie Jenner, right? And the kind, the kind of buzz it creates for your brand. So if you really think about it as a compounding effect, influencer marketing will not get you results overnight. If they're a bigger influencer, yes, you might. But then most brands we work with, they can't afford a Kylie Jenner or a Ryan, or a big name, right? We're about small, medium-sized brands that can only afford to a certain kind of an influencer or content, for the brand. And that's where this strategy really helps, because your reach doubles and they're posting about your product in their own unique style.
I see. Do you see influencer marketing changing in the years to come, or it's basically, so this is like the main trend, like people going or brands going mainly through smaller influencers, but working with multiple influencers rather than just one. This is kind of the main trend that is currently happening, right?
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
That's what we are doing for our brands as well, where we are not...
And it's working. And you're saying that it's working. It's working.
So we do something called whitelisting of accounts of influencers. What that means is we run ads from their pages then.
Okay. So the influencer would promote those products on their own account.
On their account, and we run ads from those accounts. So instead of, say, running from a brand's... So we are running from the brand's account as well, and we also run from the influencer's account. And what happens is it's about more visibility, more reach, which is equal to like what I call taking over the feed. That's it. That's what you need to do to create that buzz. And if you see 10 people, and it's psychology of marketing, right?
It's social proof, right? If other people are using that product, that means that product is good or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's about, if 10 people are talking about something, you get interested in it.
Absolutely.
So there's this Australian brand, I don't know if you've heard about it. It's a swimwear brand called Triangle. And
Triangle? Yeah. I don't know it.
Okay, so...
It's for ladies, so maybe my wife would do, but...
So, but it's a very interesting strategy they used a couple of years back. So Kendall Jenner, they wanted, I think, to get Kendall Jenner, but obviously they were small at that point in time. They couldn't afford a fee. So what they very smartly did was they found out people who hang around with Kendall Jenner, the women who hang around with her. They sent all those women their swimwear.
Okay.
They didn't send it to Kendall Jenner. And then one fine day, they get an email from Kendall Jenner asking them that all my friends have this swimsuit, but I have it.
Smart strategy.
Extremely clever. I'll say extremely clever. And then they send it to her and she models for them.
For free?
For free. Because she wanted it. Because it's FOMO, right? And if someone at that level can feel FOMO, imagine people like us.
Fear of missing out.
Yes.
Yes.
So I think that what happens is, that's why, and don't create fake urgency or anything, that's why I tell brands, even if you're creating urgency, create it like
genuine
urgency that, it is actually, don't say every time that I'm running out of stock or, it's fine, you might have limited stock and things like that, but just don't create fake urgency.
Yes, I understand. Okay. So now with regards to display advertising, that's the last topic that I wanted to tackle as well with you today. Display advertising, display ads have been there like since the beginning maybe of banner advertising back in the 2000s maybe. They haven't evolved much. I mean, we have those static images or they are a little bit animated. Is there any new trend there like happening in display advertising? Is it still a powerful means to create branding and awareness online at a good ROI, or do you see that industry also changing in the next few years?
I think for me, display has always been Google's way of making money, to be very honest. So I always look at display like that. Having said that, with Performance Max coming in, yes, we use it very, very sparingly, at a very, very tiny budget for remarketing, just to be of mine. And also with Performance Max coming in, it takes care of display as well, because that's the way it has been designed. I don't know what trends will come in display for now. It's been there always. Maybe personalization through display, if it's not happening, I'm not very well versed with that bit. So for me, display, I kind of dissuade my clients to be on display because PMax.
Unless they have a lot of budget, right?
Oh, yes.
And they want to create buzz. Or not buzz,
Nike
create
and the Adidas
awareness.
As a splurge. You have monies, you have budgets to fill, you have, whatever. Just go and splurge. So yes, for those kind of brands, definitely. But for smaller brands, I say no, you have to be very careful about every dollar you spend and where you spend. So I wouldn't recommend display to them. Is it my favorite? No.
Okay, I see. Okay, cool. Thank you, Veena. Any final words? It was a very interesting conversation, but do you have any final words or maybe some tips for people who are interested to have a successful career in digital marketing in 2024?
So first of all, Imad, thank you so very much for having me. I really, really enjoyed chatting with you. And
You're welcome.
And I would say anyone who wants a career in digital marketing, remember two things. And this is like, I'm good you asked me this question. And this is like my major grievance today with agencies. I'll say keep learning, keep upskilling, and learn marketing. Read books around marketing and watch videos, watch podcasts, and become a good marketer, because platforms come and go, trends come and go, but, human psychology and behavior, that also keeps evolving, but the foundations are always the same. So start from there. And if you want a good career in marketing, and by a good career I mean longevity as well, keep learning and be relevant, because what is relevant today goes irrelevant very quickly in terms of trends and insights. So I think that's very, very critical for anyone who's looking for a career in marketing.
Well, thank you for those advices, Veena. Thank you very much. And speak soon. We'll see how this space evolves in the next few months, and maybe we'll connect again, and you'll give us new updates on the industry.
Thank you so very much, Imad, and it was really nice to be on your podcast today.
Thank you. Take care.
You too. Thanks.